thank you for being here to watch my first video in a series that I'm really excited to be starting. Because this is the first video that I'm going to be posting on my YouTube channel, I wanted to give a little bit of context to who I am, what I'm doing, and why I'm spending so much of my time filming in coffee shops. First of all, my name is Miranda, and I am currently backpacking through Latin America. I started about 3 months ago in Guadalajara, Mexico, and I am working my way down south. I'm not totally sure how far I'm gonna get, but my plan is to continue on through Central America after this, and we'll see what happens from there. I am a freelance writer and photographer, and it's always been my dream to just take a backpack full of clothes and my camera and my computer and spend some period of my life traveling. I don't really have an end date right now. It's really kind of a dream come true for me. And so I've been thinking about some way to connect all of the cities that I'm going to. And the one common denominator that I find, no matter where I'm at in the world, I'm always spending time in coffee shops. And so I thought it would be a cool way to sort of incorporate some sort of theme into all of the cities and places that I'm seeing. Being a freelancer, and also just as someone who loves coffee, loves to sit and read, coffee shops are inevitably where I spend the vast majority of my time. Especially since I don't have a home base right now, I just find the coffee shop environment to be the best place to get work done, to open yourself up to meeting people in the city. A lot of times that's where different events that happen in the city will either take place or where you'll hear about them. And so I just feel like they are one of the best resources and coolest ways to really get a feel for the city you're in. For my first video, I got to film at 8 different coffee shops and talk to the owners at 2 of them. And while I definitely covered a lot of my favorites in the city, by no means does this video show the full scope of the coffee shops that exist in Guadalajara. So if you have been there and you have any other favorites that I missed, definitely drop them in the comments. And my next video will be covering Chiapas and San Cristobal de las Casas. So if anyone has been to this city or to anywhere else in the region and you have anywhere that you'd highly recommend, definitely let me know. I would love to check some new places out. And for now, I hope you enjoy. This is the first stop of many along a coffee shop journey around the world.
Here in Guadalajara, I guess, well, Mexico in general, people do drink a lot of coffee, but we weren't used to, like, I don't know, a culture drinking coffee, like in the United States, for example, where people just, like, can go, like, coffee to go, and it's, like, really a thing over there. And there's actually business that only sell coffee to go, and they exist on that. I think here in Mexico, it's kind of hard to only just sell coffee. A few years back, people wouldn't buy coffee on the go, you know, like, I mean, they would rather go to, like, small stores where they sell bad coffee, like Oxxo, you know, and buy, like, really cheap coffee just to keep that, rather than going to a coffee shop and pay for, like, a good quality coffee. So I think the whole specialty coffee scene, it's been growing here in Mexico, like, 8-10 years now. And then the last 5 years, I think it became stronger, especially while here in Guadalajara. When I opened my coffee shop, I think there were only like 2 or 3 specialty coffee shops, or coffee shops that were trying to just give better quality coffee And then after I opened, like then on the next 2 years, like a lot of new coffee shops open. So I think it's growing stronger, and a culture. I mean, it's helped to visualize and people to understand why coffee can be more expensive, but like they're actually paying like a good cup of coffee. And also that goes in hand with education about traceability on coffee works. That you're trying to give a fair pay to everyone that's involved in the sourcing chain. So I mean, before a few years, people weren't aware of that. Like they didn't give credit to the farmers, for example. And now I think specialty coffees here in Guadalajara have opened awareness of all the work that's been done on the farm, and that how that reflects on the taste of your coffee cup. I remember the first time I really tried my first specialty coffee cup, and I was just surprised that it tasted so much like peach. I was so amazed that I didn't have to make an effort to try to figure out in my head like, okay, what does this flavor relate to? I just tried the cup and it was there, or like I tried an espresso and it tasted like blueberry, and it was like, okay, this is amazing. Like I didn't know I could actually taste this flavor in a coffee cup. I think it just started to be really cool to go to these places to buy coffee because they were like nicely designed. Like they play cool music. Usually the people who serve also just like are into like art stuff or creatives. That they have this side job on the coffee because it's also a really interesting world, I think. So I think that drew a lot of people like me, for example. Like I was first drawn to coffee shops because of the design. And also because there's usually places where I don't know, I felt really comfortable. So I wanted to replicate that, and then after that, you start drinking coffee and you get into it. Like eventually, like the people who serving you the coffee will tell you something about the cup you're drinking, and then you start to learn, and then and if you really like it, you get interested. So the coffee tax to bring coffee from other country here is really high because Mexico gives priority to since we're a producing country of coffee, they try to give priority to the coffee beans grown here in Mexico. So anything that comes from outside will be taxed like a little bit high, in order just to make it harder for people to buy beans from outside and just like make them buy coffee from here, which is a good thing, I think. Yeah, people who want to level up to other countries, in quality. Are starting to invest and just visiting more the farms, which didn't happen before. Like nobody paid attention to the farmers. So they just like nobody went there and tried to just like make a collaboration and education and teach them also how to better manage their beans or better process them. All these new techniques about like fermenting coffee beans and stuff like that came with baristas or people that had been in other coffee scenes around the world and came back and went to the farms and talked to the farmers and were like, hey, how about you give me a little bit of your batch this year and we try this process out, and you'll see you'll get better. You can get paid better, but you just have to be patient in this. And yeah, I think there's more people investing on the fincas and on the farms. I think the coffee beans that we were able to have 10 years ago, they're not close to what we can get now, because all the work that's been done on the farm on all these years, they are taking better care of the soil, of the plants, on how they harvest them. So everything just reflects a lot on the on the final cup. But yeah, between that and I think collaborations with other coffee shops, like I was saying, that like globalization brings us really close to other cool projects or interesting projects around the world, which means you share information, and that helps us grow faster, I think, in ways of knowing what we want and what kind of coffee we're looking for. If you get deep into it, there are some fincas that already, like, their names are known because the owners or the farmers have taken care of making them like richer soil. Like they plant fruit trees, or or they try to take care of of small parcel of their farm, and just not only doing coffee plants, but trying to keep a good like a healthy environment between fauna and other plants besides coffee that will enriching the soil. Is that what? Sometimes when I get a coffee from a farm that I know they take good care of the soil or the farm, and try the coffee, it really shows on the cup.
El Terrible Juan starts in 2015, and it was just an idea to make a coffee bar to share coffee with my friends and family. That's it. I didn't know about anything about specialty coffee or something like that. I just want to make the cafe, and it's kind of this social club where all the people know each other and talk to each other, and it's like a really interesting thing. I decided just to start like that with a small machine. I took a barista course, and that's it. After a few months, I start to get involved in the coffee scene. I start to see like all the coffee chain that is around a cup of coffee. To the producers, the bean, the all the process that the coffee make to get until your cup. So I decided to get more involved in that. I started to work with a lot of producers in Mexico, and I started to help some producers to improve the quality in the coffee bean. The idea is that if they get a better quality for the coffee, they get better price, and also as a consumer, we get better coffee to drink. This year we have 6 locations in Guadalajara. We have the roastery that it's in another spot. So we have like these really close deals with a lot of producers here in Mexico. We only work with Mexican coffee beans. And the idea is to try to get the best of the best in Mexico, and to put it in your cup. If you want to get really good quality coffee, you can come here. We can share the information about the coffee bean and also the recipe. And our idea is that all the people can learn how to make a good cup of coffee. If you know how to prepare your coffee, your morning coffee, it will be an amazing experience. Your day will be better. So the idea is to share that kind of information with you. Coffee, I mean, is like the way that you start your day. Every day you drink your cup of coffee. It will be amazing if you can do it well. And well, that's kind of our philosophy, because if we start from the consumer, if the consumer is like more focused on the quality, on the flavor, and all that stuff, he's going to choose to pay quality. So that will improve the price of the coffee, the the life of the coffee producers and all the coffee chain. So I think we can start the change in the consumer and then go back to the field. And the idea is that our customers can understand the importance of the coffee bean. It's not just coffee. It's a lot of work from a lot of people in your cup. And we need to say that for all the people that it's involved in that chain. Anyway, the most important thing is that the regular consumer can be a specialty coffee consumer, because of the impact all the in all the chain in this market, that it's amazing. There's a lot of people doing a lot of things to share the knowledge between the producers, because they know that if your neighbor is producing better coffee, it will affect you in a good way to you also. So in that way, all the area grows, increase the quality and the name of the area. It helps a lot, that kind of teamwork.
I actually just discovered this shop walking by it, but I was pulled in by the kind of mystical looking logo out front, and I saw they had a number of tote bags and candles and little gifts for sale. And the coffee was delicious. I really liked the design of the place. It had a loft area and a little outdoor space, so lovely space to just stop by. This is a great spot, Violento. It's perfect for groups or just individuals coming to work remotely or stop and get some food, hang out. There's a little bar attached, great decor, great outdoor area, and there's even a little museum gallery attached to it as well. Highly recommend the food and the coffee, both delicious. I feel like lighting is one of the most important things in a coffee shop. If you're going to be sitting there and doing work all day, you want to stay awake, have good energy, and this place just had the best lighting. They had basically a full floor-to-ceiling open space, and was just a really comfortable environment to sit in. Had a nice bar looking over onto the street if you want to do some people watching while you're sitting there. Really nice, friendly people. Would definitely recommend to spend a few hours in at least. Taller de Espresso was one of the first specialty coffee shops to open up in Guadalajara. They roast their own beans in the back, so maybe if you ask, they will give you a little tour back there. It's a pretty small shop. They just have a few tables set out on the sidewalk, but it's definitely worth checking out and just experiencing the flavor of the coffee and getting to know where it all started in that city. Caligari Cafe was easily one of my favorite places in Guadalajara. Between the coffee and just the atmosphere here and the food, they really didn't skip out on anything. The place was designed based on an old horror film called The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Based on that, it is super quirky and lopsided and just has a really cool feel to it. It's really great for working during the day or going at night. They have a little bar area, and everything had a pretty artistic, creative flair to it. The menu was all collaged, and everything just felt very intentionally designed, but also a random collection of objects and antiques. And it's just a very versatile atmosphere for kind of whatever you're looking for. I mentioned before the importance of lighting in a coffee shop, and that was one of my favorite things about Gabinete. In addition to just being located in a really great area, Colonia Americana, there's a lot of other cafes and restaurants and things to do around there. They had great food, great drinks, and just a really open and welcoming environment. The baristas were always super nice and friendly, which I think always enhances the experience of being at a place. And between all that and a good Wi-Fi connection if you're working remotely, I can definitely say this was one of my default places to go and spend the day in.